What really stands out for me is when Ann and the kids and I lived in Blue Springs, and we went to church, an Episcopal church out there. We're just getting started in that community, and there was a invitation to come to a presentation about what the church was going to do in the new year and find out all the fun things going on, which was true. There was that presentation, ending with, and now here's how much you need to pledge or why you need to pledge. And it felt like a bait and switch. It felt to me like somebody had invited me for a party and brought me to a meeting instead. And it left me feeling, I don't know, negative, certainly, a little bit manipulated by what the church, how the church was approaching stewardship. Well, not long after that experience, well, we went to seminary, and so we certainly were giving a lot in terms of time to learn and be formed, but not giving much of anything in terms of money. But after seminary and going to run a church in Springfield, it seemed like it would be a good idea if I did actually pledge. So we did, and ended up being among the higher rank of givers in that tiny congregation, which says a lot about how challenged the congregation was. We were not even close to tithing or anything, but at least it was a regular practice of giving, which we had not been really able to do or hadn't figured out how to do until that point. And over time, I mean, that was 24 years ago or something, over time, um, we did get to the point of tithing, of giving 10% of what I was taking home, um, which meant a great deal to me to be able to stand up there, so to speak, with the authenticity of somebody who is actually doing this. The stumbling blocks in my practice of stewardship, probably like everybody else's, and of course, this is related primarily to money. There are lots of other ways to be a steward, but related to giving the resources, um, the stumbling block is life, right? I mean, things happen, life happens. Spouses get very sick, and kids have financial needs, and blah blah blah, all the things. So our giving went up and down, and didn't progress as much as I might have liked initially, and all that. But coming to practice some grace with myself seemed like a good lesson to take away from that. That what we could do, we did do, or at least what we thought, um, and try not to beat myself up about it too much. Well, in terms of the financial side of it, oddly enough, the my spiritual practice of giving is automatic withdrawal, which doesn't sound very spiritual, but actually it is, in that the gift just goes. The gift just regularly goes. And I know that it's, sort of in the category of first fruits, right? It just goes before I have that money to do anything else with it. Um, the irony is that also is a bit of a stumbling block to seeing giving through a spiritual lens, because I'm not actually writing the check or putting the money in the plate or whatever. So on those rare occasions when I do get to sit in the pews at St. Andrews, I'll put in the plate the little laminated card that says I make an e-gift or whatever it says, and put that in the plate so that at least there is that outward and visible sign of doing it. But still, the the automatic withdrawal is a spiritual practice for me. When we think about stewardship, usually the first thought is about money. And that's true in the sense that this stewardship season also includes a pledge campaign. So, yes, true. And what I hope people will see themselves as stewards of is of their entire existence, stewards of their lives. That what we're offering to God is a return of who we are, not simply a return of what we have. So, time, talent, and treasure, yes. But, even more specifically, practices like prayer and service and learning and fellowship and, as well as the practice of relationship with oneself and relationship with others, all those are stewardship activities. Because if we're not well and balanced and in relationship, we're not offering, we're not tending to ourselves the way we need to.